Hey guys, I welcome you all to the lecture. So before I'm going to tell you about some interesting concept called method overriding and super. Okay, super concept is actually called super. Okay, super keyword like magic. We have something called a super. We'll talk about that. Before that, let us clear the terminal. Okay, we'll clear the terminal. Super. So now let us talk about method overriding. So what is basically method overriding? Recall that I told you whenever you create an object of, we have two classes here. One is parent class and another one is subclass. My parent class is actually interstellar, my subclass is inception. Fine, remember that because inception actually inherits interstellar, for your reminder. Fine. So whenever I create an object of subclass, say inception, for a while when I create an object of subclass here, look at here. Okay, I create an object of subclass, say inception. It will search for the constructor. Okay, you create an object, it will search for the constructor, right? So it will search for the constructor only in the subclass first. Okay, if you don't have the constructor in the subclass, it will check for the constructor in parent class and that will be executed. That's what exactly happened in the previous lecture, right? Fine, but here that's what exactly happening here. I'm passing a name and you don't have constructor definition here, and it goes back and it executes this. That's fine. Let me define the constructor here itself. Fine, and init, and you pass self, and to do you have the same name? Okay, you get the same number of arguments. Okay, so this is identical as this. Okay, this the just reduced. I just decreased the terminal size, I hope, so that it will be more visible. So you have interstellar class, you have a constructor there, and inception also you have the same constructor with same number of arguments. I'll say self dot name equals to name. After that I'll print something. Hey, i belong to inception. Okay, I belong to inception here, and interstellar is no exception. Okay, so let me print I belong to interstellar here. So whenever I create an object of interstellar, it should print I belong to interstellar. Okay, so this will definitely work. Before that, let me comment this code. Okay, I'll use this later. Let me comment this constructor and see what happens. Fine, let me run this code and see what happens. Okay, I have already introduced to cop to you, so let me comment this also. Fine. Okay, check. Okay, okay, not working. uh, Fine, super. Let me run this code and check. You can see we got the output I belong to interstellar, I belong to interstellar. In all the four objects, whenever you create an object of interstellar or inception, it prints I belong to interstellar only, because it is now calling the constructor of interstellar. Okay, this constructor, it says I belong to interstellar. So that's how, even if you create an object of inception, it will search for you, it will search the constructor in inception first. You don't have the constructor here, I actually commented that you don't have that. So it will go back to interstellar, it will go next to interstellar, and it prints I belong to interstellar. That's why it print I belong to interstellar, but it's actually wrong, right? Inception belongs to, yeah, Cobb belongs to inception. So if you try to if you try to instantiate inception class with Cobb object, it should actually print I belong to inception, not I belong to interstellar. Fine. So to avoid these kind of mistakes in inheritance, we have something called as method overriding, right? So if you do like this, now let's check. Now I'm including one more constructor, I'm including a constructor here. So let's check what happens. We can see we got the output. For first two objects, say for an example, for Cooper Tars, it prints I belong to interstellar, I belong to interstellar. But for Cobb and Arthur, it prints I belong to inception. Superb, right? So yeah, that's how it works. Because the moment I create an object of inception class, it will look for the constructor only in inception class first. I told you this so many times. So this will be automatically executed. This is called as method overriding. Why? Because you have the same name. Okay, this is init and this is also init. You have the same name and same method. Okay, check these two. These are identical actually. Check these. Okay, now check these and this. Okay, check this and this. Okay, both are though both are actually identical, but this is so that's why this is called as method overriding. Okay, method overriding, because those two methods are actually identical. So that's why it's called method overriding. You are overriding the original method with this method, and this would make sense when you I'll just light like this. Hey, in Interstellar, I just say, hey, I'm survived in, I'm survived in Interstellar movie. Okay, okay. No characters will tell like that, but let's assume, let's be artificial for some time. So I'm survived in Interstellar movie. Here I have the same method. Okay, the point here is I have the same name. Okay, survive. Okay, I have the method name is very it's very common, survive. Exactly. Okay, we have the same definition here. Also we have the same definition. So let me print, hey, I'm survived in Inception movie, right here. I'll just copy this and I'll edit Interstellar as Inception. Fine. Now I'll use Cobb, our hero. So I'll say Cobb dot survive. Okay, and you'll be having four statements. Don't confuse yourself. That's because of creating objects. So I'll say clear. So Cobb dot. Let's say what happens. Run this code. You can see, hey, I'm survived in Inception movie because Cobb is an object of Inception, right? So it will let me decrease this size. Okay, Cobb is an object of Inception, right? So it will look for Cobb only in Inception first. It will look for survive. Actually, it will look for survive only in Inception first. So in Inception, we have a method called as survive. So only this will be executed, not this. Again, you might have guessed, whenever you call Cooper to execute survive, Cooper to execute survive, check what happens. Let me comment this. Fine. So this is understood, right? So when you create an use an object of Inception, that will look only for method, that will give priority only to its own methods first. Say Inception, if the method is not present, only if the method is not present, it will look for the same method in parent class. That is, I'm survived Interstellar movie. Fine. I hope you have understood. So I'll comment Cobb here. Cobb. I'll say Cooper. Cooper belongs to Interstellar, so it should be Interstellar now. Fine. So you got I'm survived Interstellar movie. So that's work. That perfectly works because Cooper is a class of it's an object of Interstellar. So Interstellar has a method say survive. That works, right? That's so we can actually use method overriding. It's called method overriding because you have the same name here. You have the same name here, but same name of the parent class. But whenever you create an object of Inception or whenever you use that object to call survive, use an object of Inception to call survive, that will print execute only this, not this, because this will give priority only to its own method first. So that's why it is called as method overriding, overriding the method. Fine.